Hello and welcome to a very special broadcast that's brought to you by Hindustan Times. It's our series in HD Dialogues where we're looking at various aspects of the education system. We are really glad this afternoon to have a special lineup of the top educators. And we'll also be joined by some parents to get a perspective on the role of parents in the education system. Remember, that this has been the year that we've seen the finalization of the new education policy. The new education policy talks about a much more rounded, holistic approach to education, whether it is in the medium that is used, whether it is in the role of teachers, and of course, the larger environment. And parents, of course, play a much larger role in that. Also, one of the trends that we've been noticing is that parents do tend to play a much larger role and they're much more involved and like to feel that they're stakeholders, like to give feedback to the school when it comes to deciding the kind of education that is being given to their wards. So, in all of this, what is the good? What is it that when they look at parents as a community, what is it that the education system is really looking at the ideal kind of relationship that is there between the two, between the educators and the parents in the system. So to talk about that, we have Rachna Pant, who's the principal of the Ramjas School in the capital. We also have Deepika Sharma, who's of the Maxfort School. We have Anupama Chand, who is of the primary school head in Gyan Bharati School. And among the parents that I talked about to give their inputs of what they think as their roles in the entire system, we have Bharat Alagh, who is a parent of St. Mark's School here in the capital. And we have the president of the Delhi Parent Association, a very, very prominent body which makes its views known about all that's happening and all the decisions that are taken here, Aprajita Gautam. So I want to start with the teachers first and those community members. Let's just start with Rachna Pant. Ma'am, would you like to go first about this period that we've seen? We've seen in the last few months, well, actually, the last 8 months, in fact, ever since the pandemic started, it has been a very, very difficult thing. Um, and I think that you're having problems with some
Yeah.
people are having problems. Okay, you can hear now. Okay, great. So basically, one of the things has been the pandemic, and that has created a major stress on the system, whether it's for teachers or it's for parents. We've seen parents actually become, whether they like it or not, having to get much more involved as they were working from home. The children were also studying from home as well. So I wanted to share, Rachna Pant, if you could start by sharing your experiences about what the last few months have been and how do you see that even post pandemic, how do you see the role of the parent evolving?
A very good afternoon to all of you. And HT, thank you so much for inviting me. Let me begin by saying that the status quo ante is never going to be now there. So, what you call in this unprecedented time the new normal has to be blended and hybrid learning, whether it is now or post pandemic. So, this is something that we have to understand and adjust to. Another thing that one has to understand is ultra learn is something that is going to be the new normal. And another thing which the role of parents, it cannot be infantilized. There is, and so parents as well as the educators have to be the noblesse oblique. They have to join hands together in the development and in the education system of the child. Right? So this is the first thing. Now, keeping this in mind, what is it that we have to do? So the first thing that we have to understand that the educators and the parents are no longer, or rather education is not a spectator sport. It has now become a participative sport, wherein the teachers as well as the parents have to work. We were not prepared for it, neither were the parents prepared for it. So there were lots and lots of problems or anxieties that came up. what are the few things that came to us and how did we try and solve them? The first thing that we came across is what is called discipline. We have to understand that whether we like it or not, it is the role of the parents as well as the educators that discipline has to be maintained. They have to get up at a certain time, they have to be dressed, they have to have their breakfast or whatever. That is something which is very important, which is not happening. Discipline is one thing that has to be kept in mind, wherein if it was in school, it was taken care of. Now it is at home. The parents have to just handhold us. That is a second
No,
thing
so
is,
can you explain that? Sorry.
yeah.
I want to just ask you
See, I'll tell
that
you, I'll give you
how
an
do you mean?
example. How do
Ha,
I give you an
please.
example? There are times when you've switched on the camera and you see the parent is in the singlet. The parent is not sort of dressed appropriately, and the child starts feeling very uncomfortable. There is a pressure cooker that is going on, and the little child is hovering all around the place. Now, this is distracting the child. This is also making the child very conscious. And when these things happen, and if there is something, the parents are talking loudly amongst themselves, there is a discord. You have to understand resilience is going out now. This is something which is very, very important. And this is what we are seeing. So the other thing is, some parents, what happens is what is called the helicopter parent. They're hovering all over the place and the child starts feeling uncomfortable. So it should neither be a helicopter parent, nor should it be a neglected, like let the child do whatever it is. If the child does not attend the class, it doesn't matter. No, a balance has to be maintained. So this is a
Okay,
little,
ma'am,
yes.
that's very interesting. I want to get in one of the parents to react immediately because you brought in a point, and I have mixed feelings about the point that you brought in. Because while you talk about the fact that, of course, the parent being inappropriately dressed, and you feel that made the child uncomfortable, so that is one way that, if it's not only the child, if this education is happening at home, from home right now, then it's not only the children's discipline but the parents' discipline that's taking place. The question is, you talked also about the pressure cooker going off. Well, I don't know how people should handle that, because what if one lives in a small home and you have to cook for the household,
I'll
and
tell you.
you know what
I'll
do you
tell you
do?
what
You
we did.
have
How
to
did we
cook
solve this
lunch,
issue?
but you also have to have your child in class. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you how we did that. We requested the parent, everybody is learning and juggling. Can you do the cooking a little earlier? I know
But
it is
ma'am,
a little
don't.
bit of
Okay.
work. So then this thing did not happen. Telling the
Okay,
parent,
so that means
no,
before 9 a.m.
yes,
Okay. Okay. So let's
it
get
does happen
Aprajita
when we
Gautam
come
in.
to work. We do our cooking
Right.
before.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, Aprajita Gautam. We have Madam Pant making a very valid point over there. But what she wants from us parents is that we have to be a bit more disciplined. We have to wear proper clothes if we are in the frame. And second, we have to make sure the distractions, whether we are speaking loudly on our own meetings, which can happen, ma'am. I'm sure that is what you're talking about parents talking loudly. I'm sure it's not because they're gossiping. It's probably because they have their own office calls to make. So, Aprajita Gautam, what is the way out? You're muted. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Sunitra, and thank you, Rachna ma'am, for raising all these points. But we need to consider the situation what parents are facing. It is very easy to raise all these points if I'm talking about the Rachna ma'am. But ma'am, हमें ये भी देखना चाहिए what kind of atmosphere the parents are having. Do they have enough space कि जहाँ पे वो बच्चे को ऑनलाइन क्लास पढ़ा सके? Like you said, कुकर प्रेशर कुकर का आवाज आ रहा है या क्लॉथ्स ढंग से नहीं पहने हुए. Yes, I do agree कि बच्चे जो हैं वो वेल ड्रेस बैठे या पेरेंट्स भी अगर इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं वो भी वेल ड्रेस बैठने चाहिए. रही बात प्रेशर कुकर की आवाज की, यहाँ एक छोटा सा पॉइंट मैं उठाना चाहूंगी. Why schools are facing these problems? Because schools are not following the Pragyata format. जहाँ पे आपको जो आवाज है, जो छोटे बच्चे के जो आवाज हैं या बड़े बच्चों के आवाज हैं, वो रिलेटिवली कैन यू हियर मी रचना मैम, कैन यू हियर मी, एम आई ऑडिबल? जो छोटे, आई थिंक रचना मैम इज सेइंग कि एम आई ऑडिबल नाउ?
You are, but there is a little bit of disturbance there. So let's soldier on. But
Is this fine?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. See, we need to see the atmosphere. Abhi, as you said, it's a new way of learning. It's a new way of leading your life. आप घर में बैठ के आप पढ़ रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पर स्कूल को और पेरेंट्स को डेफिनेटली, जैसे अभी तक होता आया है सिस्टम पे, आपस में कोऑर्डिनेट करते हुए करना है. बट कुछ चीजें स्कूल में समझनी चाहिए. जहाँ पे छोटा मकान होता है, अगर पेरेंट की भी जॉब है, अगर उसको भी काम खत्म करके जाना है, तो माय रिक्वेस्ट कि कहीं पर भी अगर आपको ऐसा आता है, प्लीज फाइंड द टाइम टेबल. क्योंकि लॉन्ग आवर्स, अगर आपका लॉन्ग आवर्स चलते हैं 4 आवर्स, 8 बजे से 1 बजे तक क्लास चलेगी. आप मुझे बताइए, बीइंग अ वुमेन, रचना मैम मैं आपसे भी पूछती हूँ, यहाँ पे बहुत सारी लेडीज हैं, आप कितने बजे खाना बनाएंगे और कब अपने बच्चों को खाना देंगी? पर्सनली ये प्रॉब्लम मैं भी फेस कर रही हूँ. हम डिसिप्लिन की बात करते हैं, हम बहुत सारी अच्छी अच्छी बात करती हैं. वी नीड टू टॉक अबाउट द प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट्स. लेट्स बी प्रैक्टिकल. क्या हम वो वाकई में कर सकते हैं? नहीं कर पाते हैं. बट आई एम श्योर जिस तरीके से आज की डेट में ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन स्कूल करवाने की कोशिश कर रहा है और बच्चे जिस तरीके से कर रहे हैं, यस इट्स अ न्यू नॉर्मल. इसको हम लोगों को देखना चाहिए. एंड आई डू एग्री अगेन, बच्चों को एटमॉस्फेयर देना, डिसिप्लिन करवाना, ये पेरेंट्स की जिम्मेवारी है. यहाँ पर हमें साथ में रह के काम करना होगा. और आपको थोड़ा सा ना पेरेंट्स की ये प्रॉब्लम भी समझनी होगी, कुकर की आवाज, ये सब चीजें हैं. तो
Okay, that's nicely explained. So can I just go across now to Anupama Chand and ask you, what are, because you're dealing with younger children and younger parents, what is the kind of input that you require from your parent community, or share with us some experiences that you have had, and which has given you a new learning curve, and what you feel could be a better contribution from that community.
Thanks, Sunetra, and thanks so much to the other extremely respected members of the panel. Sunetra, when the lockdown started and when we had this whole problem about the COVID, and all of us were wondering where we would go. To my surprise and to my happiness, I think my belief in that whole old adage that humanity has got the greatest resilience and the power to bounce back. And that is what exactly happened. We were trying to find ways and means to connect. And Sunetra, you'll be happy to know that the kind of problem with Rachna ma'am has talked about, we also face that problem. And I would not call it a problem, All of us, the parents, the teachers, we were in unfamiliar grounds. We were trying to find our footholds. How do we go about it? So in our school particularly, what we did was that, and everyone knows about the holistic development and, the fact that the children have to be happy. The parents have to be happy before any kind of learning happens. And that is what we took care of first. It is the learning we have to be, very, very concerned about. And Aprajita ma'am, we followed the Pragyata guidelines absolutely through. It was 45 minutes for class 1 and 2, and it was, 1 hour. So we were able to juggle around. But our first priority in all cases, Sunetra, it was first of all to make everyone comfortable. You see, everyone was very hyper. We didn't know what was happening to us. So we started, the first and foremost, we made sure that our children and our parents were happy and were emotionally connected to that virtual connect we were trying to do. So we took up lots and lots of small activities which actually put everyone in a very, very comfortable zone. To give you an example, just before the summer vacations, we had just done 20 days of, virtual classrooms. We had something we called the Alokit Path, the illuminated path. and Mera Pyara Sansar. So this was 5 days of an exercise. One day, the parent and the teacher, they were sitting together, and we called it the day I'm unique. So the teacher also wore a placard, I'm unique. The child also wore, and we were talking about things very close to our heart. The second day, we made the parents the storytellers. And they were telling stories about their childhood, about the stories. We had musical storytellers. We had storytellers in various languages. You see, we were making connections. We were making connections. Third day, we call it abhar, gratitude, because that is something we had to be. And fourth day, my child is unique. Every parent, irrespective of any household, got down with the grandparents. They were sitting and talking about the child. And I think that set the pace for everything. There were instances where we had problems. Okay, the camera is not on or the technology is not. So that was something new for everyone, but we got learning. And to our happiness, today we are in such a safe platform that we are able to teach and learn in a very, very conducive environment.
That's great.
Sunetra, we were talking in the morning about something, it's all about learning, is all about giving experiences, right? And it's about giving meaningful experiences. So, I mean, today we are sitting and talking to each other, and I think the experience is very, very nice. Next time we're going to come back together. Similarly, it happens in a classroom as well. So we create experiences, and I think that did everything. Our parents are there hand in hand with us, and they're just trying to help us around.
Okay, that
So,
sounds really good. And I would like to hear some specific instances from you. But before that, let me just go across to Deepika Sharma, who's of the
yeah.
Maxfort School. And I wanted to hear from you about what your experiences has been about and the kind of concern perhaps that parents community has conveyed to you. I'm sure there are lots. I can see it in my child's school as well. What is it that you hear from them, and how have you been able to address that?
All right. Hi, good afternoon. First and foremost, I'm Anjali Bhandari from Maxfort School, Dwarka. Deepika
Okay.
wasn't here today. I'm Anjali. All right.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
a very good afternoon to everybody present here. And I have been listening to all the conversations. For me and for my school, I feel the parent support is like we can say, a frosting on a cupcake, which makes it sweet and complete. So I strongly believe in one-to-one hand holding, be it the parent with the child in between the school and the parent on both sides. Believe me, it becomes a very happy journey. Yes, there were concerns when we did start with the online classes. There were concerns, but then as we were just discussing, and I was just listening to everybody, once everybody became settled, there were those were teething problems. Everybody became settled. Things became very, very smooth. Uh, Parent being
Okay,
involved in a
Anjali,
child, yeah.
Anjali, sorry, your audio is really bad. I'm going to ask our technical help, which is online, to just check your audio so that we can understand what you're saying. I don't think any of the other guests can hear you either. So let's just fix
All right.
Anjali Bhandari's audio so that maybe change the internet connection. So I'm just going to let's just go across to Bharat Alagh as a parent. You just heard from a lot of the teachers right now. Tell us, you as a parent, what you've been through in the last few months.
Good
Yep.
evening, everybody on the panel. Thank you. I'm audible.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Uh, First of all, we thanks all the teachers for actually hats off to them for arranging these online classes when this pandemic start. Uh, as a parent, like though we had a chance to make our child separate in a separate room so that he can pay attention to what the teacher is saying. Uh, but yes, rightly the ma'am said, like in a houses where there are smaller rooms or less chances that they can adjust and teach to them. So it's a time which everybody is facing though it has got some bad effects on the students that like they are started getting lethargic. Earlier when they used to get up at 6:30 in the morning for the school, now the time has changed to 8 o'clock in the morning. So they are missing their classes, they are missing their batchmates. Virtual is different. They're missing their teachers as well, and specifically, the classes like PT classes or the other curricular activities, extracurricular activities which the school used to run, like the St. Mark's, where my kids study. Uh, every month there used to be something happening in the school. So the kids are missing those happenings which is there. Learning is actually hats off that they have arranged everything very well, and the kids are learning.
The kids are learning. That's what's most important. And of course, you talk about Mithaji. I think it's anyway, the whole medium has been very difficult and challenging for the children. So it's just, I mean, even for the school community as well. So whatever happens and whatever they are able to achieve despite all these limitations is by itself quite an achievement. So I think, Anjali Bhandari, we have you back. Uh, just tell us some experiences. Take us through some of the experiences that you have gone through in the last few months and how you
Am
feel
I
about
audible
that.
now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, talking about specific experiences where I required parent support and I talk about physical exercise first and foremost. Students at home were not having ample physical exercise, and because of that, we could see the aggression even during online classes where we had to immediately monitor the student to this limit that we had to had a one-to-one session with the medical advisor of the school, and immediately we
That
had to look
sounds.
into
Can
and
you just
then what
elaborate?
happened.
What happened
Yes.
more? Tell us about this particular case of someone's aggression. Just give us more details of that
Aggression,
because this
as in
seems.
even in online classes, there were undue messages in the chat box where we had to look into. When we found out, when we probed, when we got in touch with the family, we got to know that the child was at home on the computer, like, for continuous hours, and there was no physical exercise. So then immediately we had to train the parent. We required the parent support there. That was where the parent pitched in immediately. We trained the parent that those were the times when the parents were, I mean, the people were not allowed to move out of their homes. So a 20-minute session in the balcony or on the terrace, we had to train them. Then we had sessions, and then finally we got to see that slowing down of the student and better focus from the student there and then. So this was one of the, I mean, physical exercises till date. Even in our classes, we have till class 12 a 5 minutes a 7-minute session of physical exercise with the children, because there is where we require parent support. They are at home. Here in the school, they used to get those big grounds where they used to have, go and play rigorously, and now they are not getting that. So that is where we required support, so we gave that to our students.
That's fascinating. No,
Also, yeah.
yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes. And we also had many parent sessions where we required the parents to be, hand holding with the students, because right now what has happened, the school has reached home. Each and every school, each and every classroom, like we sometimes have talk amongst each other that right now we as teachers, we are not teaching a child, we are teaching the family there. So the parent support again begins, it plays a very, very vital role for all of us.
Yes, I would imagine so. And that example that you gave of parents immediately reaching out to parents because you felt that the child was becoming aggressive, I think that is something that, if so many people would deal with it because you can see the impact of online education even on children who are otherwise interested in learning. I think just staring at a screen just does things, is having this impact which is much more long term. And it's interesting to know how you and your school intervene with the parents over there. Uh, Ms. Pant, do you want to come in now and share some more of your experiences?
I can hardly hear you.
I just said that, would you like to share more of your experiences now?
Yeah. Now, the experiences that I am trying to say is not experience of a particular school. See, there are lots of positives. Lots of parents have pitched in. Had the parents not been hand in hand with the school and the teachers, it would not go on for 8, 9 months the way it has been going. But what I would like to talk here is about a few areas in which we also need a little bit of help. Just like the parents, for the parents, it's a new normal. For the teaching staff, also, it's a new normal. Parents, could you just help tell the child not to, copy or cheat during the examinations or assessments or assignments? It is never good to do this, and never to cover up, because then the child starts learning that, this is okay. Marks are not that important. It is the values that are important. And parents, we have to understand what was said many years ago. It was time immemorial. It was said that the home is the first school, the parent's lap is the first classroom, and the parent is the first teacher. So this is some sort of areas of concern that a few parents would also be facing. There have been instances where the parents have said, अच्छा मैम गलती हो गई, आगे से नहीं कराएंगे. पहले इंस्टेंस में नहीं कराए. ये सब का नहीं है. See, what I'm trying to say is few and far between, but this happens. The second thing is, just like we are learning how to handle technology, parents will also now have to learn how to use technology. Why? Because बच्चे जो हैं वो parents को कहते थे, नहीं हम तो पढ़ रहे हैं. अब माँ बाप को नहीं पता कि वो पढ़ रहे हैं कि खेल रहे हैं कि क्या कर रहे हैं. So many times it has happened. तो हम भी सीख रहे हैं. Even I to call myself a techno challenged person. उसी तरह बेचारे पेरेंट्स जो है वो करें, लेकिन पेरेंट्स हमसे तो कहीं ज्यादा यंग है, तो वो हमसे जल्दी सीख लेंगे. So that's another thing. The other thing is, अगर बच्चा कुछ गलत कर रहा है, आप हमारा हाथ पकड़ लीजिए और कहिए कि मिसबिहेवियर अगर है तो हम भी मना करेंगे. Foul language, there were instances where foul language was used. The parent knew about it. जब कहा कि आप भी साइबर सिक्योरिटी में कंप्लेन करिए, हम भी करते हैं, तो 360 डिग्री टर्न अराउंड हो गया, बिकॉज बच्चा खुद फंस जाता. Right? So again, what I'm saying is, out of 100%, 90% of the parents are extremely good. They are also understanding the problems today. But थोड़े areas है, अगर वो भी मिल जाएगा ना, so things will actually work very well. So these, so the thing is, the situation now is not that of a confrontalist. We are not confronting each other. हम दोनों तो हाथ एक दूसरे का पकड़ के आगे चलेंगे ना अपने बच्चे के लिए. तो अगर थोड़ी सी हमारी प्रॉब्लम्स है, थोड़ी आपकी प्रॉब्लम्स हम लोग मिलके कर लेंगे, so definitely it will be a win-win situation for our child. So these are some other things. And as what Anupama said, yes, resilience is very important, because you will not believe, parents have said to us, ma'am हमें स्कूल बुला लीजिए. क्यों बुला लो स्कूल, क्या बात हो गई? एंड इन कॉन्फिडेंस दे हैव सेड, घर में बहुत झगड़ा होता है. पहले तो पापा मम्मी बात नहीं करते थे तो पता नहीं चलता था, तो स्कूल में होता था. नाउ दिस इज हैपनिंग. what we've done, we've sat with the children, counseled them कि बेटे पापा की भी जॉब हो सकता है कम हो गई होगी, हो सकता है थोड़ी सैलरी कम मिल रही हो, घर चलाना है तो उनके लिए भी टेंशन और एंजाइटी हो रही है, और तुम उस पर से तंग करोगे तो उनकी टेंशन बढ़ जाएगी. सो दीज आर थिंग्स विच आर जेन्युइनली हैपनिंग. मेंटल इश्यूज बच्चों के पास बहुत है. what अंजलि said very rightly, that बाहर जाके तो खेल नहीं सकता है बच्चा. घर में अगर थोड़ी देर खेलने को कहते हैं, when there are these scholastic, पेरेंट्स कहते हैं मैडम 2.5-3 घंटा तो पढ़ा रही हैं, उस 2.5-3 घंटे में भी आपने डांस करा दिया और उसमें आपने कह दिया कि खेलो, मतलब एक्सरसाइज करो, पढ़ा क्यों नहीं रही हैं आप? So the mindset has to be changed. From fixed mindset, we have to change to a more open mindset, where the new education policy जो बता रही है, holistic development in the real sense होगा. Art integration है. ये सब कैसे होगा? ये जो कर रहे हैं ये सब यही है. So ये बच्चा, तो one has to understand, बच्चे बहुत sensitive हो गए घर में. जो चीजें वो देख रहे हैं उनके लिए इतना ट्रॉमा है बच्चों के लिए कि आप और हम समझ नहीं सकते. हमसे ज्यादा ट्रॉमा वो बच्चे झेल रहे हैं. And
जी
we've had lots
जी
of counseling sessions with them.
जी मिस पंत एक्चुअली आप जो बता रही हैं it sounds really really important, and I think these are the kind of issues which are critical at this juncture, and it's amazing that you as teachers are addressing them. The fact that you're dealing with domestic abuse, domestic discord, and the fact that you're helping children through that is I think phenomenal. That the school is playing such a role. You want to come in over here, Aprajita Gautam, to talk about these kind of things which teachers are not meant to deal with. They're not meant to be counselors to about parental issues or dealing with some of this. I mean, ideally, of course, but it's just that we don't usually see that. It suddenly seems that the home and the school seems to have really come together at this time, and everything is, for parents learning and making sure it's the right environment. It's their business, and for teachers, the home environment and whether the child is fine at home, whether it's a conducive environment, it's become their responsibility. So I want you to talk about this, and just like Ms. Pant gave us some examples of it, talk about what you've seen and what other parents are going through.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Sunita. See, like Miss Pant said कि आज की डेट में बच्चे बहुत सेंसिटिव हो गए हैं। इस बात को मैं बिल्कुल मानती हूँ क्योंकि सेंसिटिविटी इसलिए बढ़ गई है क्योंकि उनको जो पीयर ग्रुप मिलता था, उनको अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ जो इंटरेक्शन का टाइम मिलता था, जो फेस टू फेस मीटिंग का टाइम मिलता था, वो आज की डेट में नहीं मिलता। लाइक जैसे मॉर्निंग में उठते थे वो अपना हो गए तैयार होके चले गए। अब वो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम क्या बोले तो 24 आवर्स वो अभी उनके पिछले 8-9 महीने से घर में ही गुजर रहे हैं। तो ऑब्वियसली होता है कि घर का जो एनवायरनमेंट है, जो बच्चे स्कूल टाइम पे जो उनको नहीं दिखता, आज की डेट में वो एनवायरनमेंट भी ऑब्वियसली दिख रहा है। तो सेंसिटिविटी अगर हम ये देखें, ये जो चैलेंजेस हैं हमारे और आपसे ज्यादा मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि बच्चों के लिए ज्यादा चैलेंजेस हैं। चाहे हम बात करें कि ऑनलाइन क्लास के दौरान
Aprajita, we seem to have your internet connection.
I cannot see myself.
Yeah, your internet
So,
connection is. I, I think should we take? I'm just gonna ask our
Hello?
producers. Yeah, your internet connection seems to be creating problems. So just like we fixed Anjali's,
yeah.
maybe yours can be
So,
fixed.
like I said,
I think.
am I audible now?
No, I think the internet. We'll just check that and come back to you. Ms. Chan, some of the issues that Ms. Pant talked about are very, very serious. We're talking about children who are reaching out to the teachers for help. What would what kind of role do you see the parents playing in all of this? You have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have so many anecdotes that if I were to tell, the session would go
No,
on
but tell
for
us a few. We love
hours
that.
together. Yeah, because I'd love to, because they're really interesting ones. Mrs. Pant talked about the fact that how do you invigilate children at home, especially the senior children, because the younger ones in our school don't have any kind of exams or anything. And the best part is that our parents have come forward, and nearly 100% parents, they've all said, teachers, they've told the teachers, they told the principal, don't worry, we are invigilating for you at home. And you don't worry at all. We are there with you. So constant, keeping both the parties informed, taking informed decisions is really help. Another thing, Sunitra, Mr. Alagh talked about the fact the various kind of experiences that the children had in school. We have taken our little babies in pre-primary and primary on virtual tours. We have visited Sikkim, we have visited Mariana Trench, we have visited Mysore Zoo, we have visited all places. And the best part is that if you're visiting Sikkim, the teacher dresses up in also a Sikkimese lepcha dress. The children wear that, and we are talking, we're singing a Nepali song. Or when we are going to Mariana Trench, all of us are dressed in blues or the favorite animals we create. In fact, most of the parents Many a times they text me or message that, Anu ma'am, let's keep continuing with the online classes. It's so much fun because now we know how the school teaches. Now we know the teaching methodology of the children, of the school. And that was really one high motivator. Also, there was a very valid point raised about the fact that some children are staying in small houses. They are not in Delhi. We used it to our benefit. There was a child who was taking a class from the fields. He was sitting in middle of the field and he was taking his class. And we told him, I told him, Farhan, एक काम करो बेटा, तुम दिखाओ तुम कहाँ बैठे हो और क्या क्या है. You won't believe. उसने अपना भैंसा दिखाया, उसने दिखाया यहाँ से ऐसे दूध हम निकालते हैं, यहाँ पे टेस्ट. बच्चों ने इतना एंजॉय किया उसको. वो बोलते हैं, एक हमारा बच्चा श्रीनगर में बैठा हुआ था और वहां पे उसने डल लेक से क्लास ली और उसने दिखाया पूरा कि मैम ये देखिए मेरे पीछे डल लेक है. एंड द चिल्ड्रन वेयर लाइक they were sitting in Delhi and they were just going. So we used it to our benefit. Wherever they were, we used it to our benefit. That is one of our children. Many of our children, we have many parents who are potter parents. So they actually showed. They were staying that one room, जहाँ पे एक तरफ वो भी था, उनका potter's wheel भी था. उन्होंने बच्चों ने दिखाया, देखिए पापा बना रहे हैं. So, so A, you are not being judgmental, and B, they were very proud of the fact. They were not ashamed of the surroundings, and there was a lot of acceptability.
What do you do, Ms. Chan, with were there students in your school who didn't have good internet connection? What did you do?
Yes,
What's your
there
fix
were
with
there were
that?
many. Yeah.
How
So we
did you
took a
do
lot of
that?
steps. Yeah. So we took a lot of steps for that. What we did was we provided dongles to the parents. Were not they approached us. We the teachers contacted them, and suppose they didn't have, the school provided them with a laptop as also the connection. Apart from that, there were many parents who were not able to access. Where we had a wonderful set of parents who became the buddy parents, and they started connecting with those parents, and they started trying to help them. We even had the senior children who pitched in. So it was a lot of collaboration. I don't know, in fact, I'm feeling very happy for the fact that the last 6 months has been an eye opener, because the children now, they are sitting and they say, ma'am, बहुत मजा आया, सिक्किम में हमने टूर किया, बहुत मजा आया, हम मरियाना ट्रेंच गए, हमें बड़ा अच्छा लगा. We just had the food mela. So the teacher was having the सरसों का साग and everything, and सब घरों में खाना बना हुआ था, मजे से सब खाना खा रहे थे, enjoy कर रहे थे, खाना के बारे में learning भी हो रही थी और मजे भी हो रहे थे. So I think it's all about nazariya. एक बहुत जबरदस्त शब्द है nazariya. How you take and what is your perspective. And I think we can just do wonders if we, really put our and apply ourselves.
Okay, Aprajita, I hope we can hear you now.
आंसर सी रचना मैम, आपने दो तीन चीजें आपने कही थी. एक तो ये है कि बच्चे, जो आपने चीटिंग की बात की, मैं इसमें ऐड करना चाहूंगी, ये जो कॉम्पिटिटिव मार्केट जो हमने ही तैयार की हुई है, वो स्कूल ने और पेरेंट्स ने, ये आपकी और हमारी ही एक्चुअली गलती है, जो इतना एक लार्जर स्केल में हम लोगों ने कंपटीशन तैयार कर दिया, जिसमें मुझे ऐसा लगता है, आई डू एग्री जो आपने बोला कि 1 या 2% बच्चे हैं जो नकल कर रहे हैं या पेरेंट्स भी उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, जो डेफिनेटली गलत बात है. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो कंपटीशन की भावना जब होती है बच्चे में, और जब जैसे ही बच्चे को लगता है कि वो पीछे हट जाएगा या पीछे रह जाएगा, इसलिए वो नकल मार रहा है, जो मेरे हिसाब से टोटली गलत है, नहीं होना चाहिए, और पेरेंट्स को इन चीजों के लिए एनकरेज नहीं करना चाहिए. दूसरा, आपने सेंसिटिविटी की बात की, बच्चे सेंसिटिव हो गए हैं, बिल्कुल हो गए हैं, क्योंकि ये जो आज की डेट में जो माहौल है, हम और आप बड़े जब इस सिनेरियो को, इस माहौल को एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, अभी तक हम पूरी तरीके से इसमें डले नहीं हैं. वहां अगर हम बच्चों की बात सोचें, जहाँ पे वो 6:30 उठते थे, 7:30 तक स्कूल के लिए चले जाते थे, अराउंड 3 बजे के आसपास घर आते थे, अब उनका पूरा लाइफस्टाइल चेंज हो गया. उनका बचपन, मैं बोलूं तो मैं बोलूंगी कि 9 महीने का हमने एक तरह से बचपन छीन लिया है. बट आई एम ग्लैड टू हैव प्रिंसिपल लाइक अनुपमा मैम, जैसे वो बता रही हैं कि उन्होंने वे आउट देखा कि हाउ टू इन्वॉल्व किड्स, उनको किस तरीके से बाकी किड्स के साथ इंजॉय करवा पाए. तो मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि यस, बच्चों की सेंसिटिविटी बहुत बढ़ गई है, जिसमें आप लोगों का पार्टिसिपेशन बहुत जरूरी है. पेरेंट्स का भी आज के डेट में रोल जो पहले था, उससे मैं कहूंगी दुगना चौगना इसलिए हो गया है, क्योंकि घर में बच्चों को पढ़ाना भी है, हर पेरेंट के हस्बैंड वाइफ के अपने पर्सनल इश्यूज भी हो सकते हैं, जो शायद आपके क्लासेस के टाइम पर भी आप लोगों ने सुने होंगे। आई डू एग्री, जो बच्चों से कई बार छुपाते थे वो बच्चों के सामने आ रहे हैं। तो ये जो माहौल हमारे सामने क्रिएट हो गया बच्चों के लिए, तो हम सभी का रोल है, पेरेंट्स का तो ऑब्वियसली टॉप मोस्ट रोल है कि बच्चे जो इस सेंसिटिव उसमें जा रहे हैं, जिसमें उनका पीयर अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ जो जो फेस टू फेस इंटरेक्शन होता था वो सिर्फ कैमरा के थ्रू हो रहा है, और ड्यू टू
Yeah.
दिस ऑनलाइन क्लासेस और उसके बाद ये जो हम बात करें ना स्क्रीन टाइम उनका बढ़ जाना, तो डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली वो बच्चों के मेंटल उसमें इफेक्ट डाल रहा है, जिससे बच्चे वो अपनी एक दुनिया चार दीवारी बना के बैठ गए। तो
Yeah.
हमें यहाँ पे जो एज ए पेरेंट अगर मैं बताऊं, मेरा रोल ये है कि मैं बच्चों के टाइम साथ थोड़ा सा कोशिश करें कि हम टाइम स्पेंड करें, वन टू वन उनसे बात करें, उनके क्लास में क्या चल रहा है, वो क्या मिस कर रहे हैं, वो किसी फ्रेंड के साथ इंडिविजुअली फोन पे बात करना चाहते हैं, कैमरा से बात करना चाहते हैं, आई थिंक वी शुड अलाउ देम, क्योंकि फ्रेंड्स का जो अपना, हर किसी को अपना साथी प्यारा होता है, मैं इस बात को जानती हूँ, आप भी सब इसी बात को मानते होंगे। तो वो जो दोस्ती वाला जो हिसाब किताब है उसको टूटने नहीं दे, उनको उनके साथ इंटरेक्शन करने दें एज ए पेरेंट। प्लस टीचर्स के साथ जो इंटरेक्शन है, ये जो प्रॉब्लम बता रहे हैं, रचना मैम बता रहे हैं या कुछ भी ऐसा होता है, हमें इस चीज को ऑब्वियसली मिलके करना है, क्योंकि एज ए बीइंग दी प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ दिल्ली पेरेंट्स एसोसिएशन हमारे पास भी बहुत सारी कंप्लेंट्स आती हैं, स्कूल में ये हो रहा है वो हो रहा है। आई एम सॉरी अनुपमा मैम, आपका एक्सपीरियंस बहुत अच्छा रहा, बट ऐसी ही कंप्लेंट मेरे पास आई थी पेरेंट की कि वो कह रहे कि सिक्किम की ड्रेस पहन कर आओ। अब मैम हम लॉकडाउन में सिक्किम ड्रेस कहाँ से लेकर आए, आप ये बताइए। तो मैं आपको अदर पार्ट ऑफ द पिक्चर बता रही हूँ कि क्या क्या हो रहा
Yeah.
है।
No, no, that's really valid. And Aprajita, I just have to sorry cut you short because we're almost running out of time, and I wanted to get Anjali Bhandari and Bharat Alagh in just before we end. So, Ms. Bhandari, do you want to wrap up by saying that obviously it's been it's been an experience. It's been very difficult. Just hearing you over the last 40 minutes or so, I understand, you all have to deal with things that you've never either been trained to do, never expected to do. So, kudos to all of you. But I just wanted to say that, is there anything that you're thinking that, parents will, obviously this whole experience has changed us all. But thinking of the post-pandemic, when things kind of go back to how it was, how do you think parents will be impacted, and what is it that you're hoping for? The kind of change that you're expecting from them. You have to unmute.
I am hoping for stronger, very, very strong. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I am hoping for even stronger parents as partners. Okay. One thing that I would like to bring in here is giving guidelines to parents is also very, very important, because as we were stepping into this new scenario, the parents also did not know about it. So, this is what I wanted to add when you all were saying that when there were challenges, the parents had to be guided well. So that was also another important, because they were also lost. So it is not about parent, it's not that they don't want to be there with us, but then there are situations when they don't know about things. Because till now what happened, the student used to come to school at 7:30, move out from school at 2:30, remain with us day in and day out. So what was happening in the school, the parents are getting to know now, right? For example, when we started with the online classes, we had to give them one letter where all the requirements that as parents what is expected out of you had to be given to them. Similarly, when we had to start with the online classes again, I'm sorry, on online assessments, again we had to tell, I mean, we gave it as a letter to the parents and we informed them that while the child will be writing the test, please be present there with the child as the invigilator on our part. So these were the things where the parents also needed guidance, and we need to give that guidance. So when once the school reopens, I'm just hoping for the best that they will arise as better partners for us in education. One
That's a
more
lovely
thing,
way of putting it. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. One more thing is that a little expectations of we as teachers from the parents is that do not misunderstand our guidance to the students as like we are targeting the students. We as teachers never, if we are there in this profession, we are here by choice. So our aim will never ever be to demotivate a student. So
I don't
every
think
parent
anyone thinks that of
ensures,
teachers. I think
yeah, yeah.
what this, if there's anything that's come out of these last few months, is just the
Is that
amazing
they've
form of
understood what teachers
education.
are.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
and the amazing ability to adapt and just rise to the occasion. So that for
Yes.
sure, thanks to the entire
So
community. Just last words from you, Bharat Alagh. What is it that you are hoping for from the teachers community? Is there anything else in the coming months?
Uh, as I said, teachers, they are the treasure house of knowledge and skill. We as a parent learn a lot of things from them. My only suggestions for the parents is to, like, your kids see, or you have to be the mirror for your kids. The way you behave, your kids will behave in the same manner. The moral values is to be inculcated by you, not by the teachers. So my concern is, first you have to control yourself. You have to express yourself in that manner that whatever is happening, you have to support your teachers. Even they are also taking time out of their busy schedules at home. When everybody is enjoying at home, the teachers, they are working from morning till afternoon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. They are spending a lot of time in studying first and then teaching you guys. Like, this is the part that even each and every parent should think. It's not that teachers are sitting home and they are enjoying, they are just taking 1 hour class and going. Sorry, because I am all in a kind of a profession where I have to study a lot when I have to teach it to someone. And with all due respect, that uh, I'm like, I sit with my kid when he is studying. I have started learning many things of ninth class as
Same
well,
here.
because they are, and it's really clear. Many of the teachers, they are very clear what they are teaching to the students. Uh, the moral values, all these values, ये जितना भी है, आप अपने बच्चों को खुद सिखाइए. बीइंग अ पेरेंट, आप
Yes.
अपने आप को कंट्रोल कीजिए पहले. वो वैल्यूज आप अपने बच्चों में ऐड कीजिए, सो दैट दे शुड रिस्पेक्ट. ऐसा नहीं है जैसे मैम ने बोला ऑनलाइन है तो चीटिंग इज अलाउड. सॉरी, आज चीटिंग करोगे, अगले साल क्या करोगे? सारा साल थोड़ी ऑनलाइन चलना है. द एंटायर लाइफ विल नॉट बी ऑनलाइन. You have to
So
show
be
the
the
world
change that
what
you
you
want to
are.
see. I think
So
that's actually a good
positivity
note.
has to be
Yes, sir. That's
inculcated by
actually a
the
very good
parents.
note to end on. And I want to thank all of you who joined this special HD dialogue. And this series will continue. Thank you to Rachna Pant. Thank you to Anjali Bhandari, Anupama Chand, Bharat Alagh, and Aprajita Gautam. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for tuning in. Goodbye.
thank you so
Thanks,
much for
Sunetra.
giving us
Thank
this
you.
opportunity.